Turning now to the Middle East, where ceasefire talks are continuing in Cairo this week. Over the weekend, Israel and Lebanon's Hezbollah exchanged heavy fire. Israeli forces targeted rocket launchers in southern Lebanon, while Hezbollah targeted military bases in northern Israel. At least 3 Hezbollah militants and 1 Israeli soldier were killed. CBS News foreign correspondent Imtiaz Tyab is following all this for us from Tel Aviv. Imtiaz, what's the latest on these attacks?
Well, Lindsay, I can tell you that in the last few moments, sirens have gone off in northern Israel. Now, this follows what Lebanese media are reporting is a series of Israeli artillery strikes in southern Lebanon. Still, many are interpreting this as the sort of, frankly, usual tit-for-tat that we've been seeing along Lebanon's southern front and Israel's northern border, really, since the war in Gaza began. But this weekend, of course, was incredibly different, where we saw the largest exchange of cross-border fire between Israel and Hezbollah, with Israel carrying out what it described as a preemptive strike involving around 100 fighter jets targeting what it described as thousands of Hezbollah rocket barrels. A short time after that, Hezbollah fired over 300 rockets into Israeli territory, targeting military sites, and we understand that drones were fired as well. And although there was some casualties on both sides also seem to be satisfied with this and are stepping back from the brink. Still, given the current situation on that northern front, of course, southern for Lebanon, the situation remains extremely tense. Lindsay.
What is happening with ceasefire talks? U.S. officials say they're ongoing, continuing in the coming days in Cairo. Where do the biggest gaps land in the talks?
Yeah, there's a lot of hope this weekend that we were going to have some sort of breakthrough, given all the parties were in Cairo. And by that, I meant Hamas, Israel, the U.S., Qatar, Egypt, all coming together for talks, senior level delegates. But there was no major breakthrough. Now, we do understand that what's been described as lower level officials are continuing these talks to try to bridge some of these gaps. But the key issue here is that Hamas wants to see a full withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. That, of course, is something that Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has refused to do. So those talks continue. Lindsay.
What is the latest? The last couple of weeks, we've been talking about whether it's possible that Iran will retaliate, either on its own or through its proxies. And then there was reporting that maybe they would wait, see what the situation was like with ceasefire talks. Is there any new reporting on where that stands?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And of course, many people breathing a sigh of relief, thinking that whatever this tension between Hezbollah and Israel has really calmed down. And it's very clear that both sides have telegraphed to each other that they do not want to escalate. This also coming from senior U.S. officials. But we still have to remember Iran. And we have to remember that Israel, although it hasn't claimed it, but many believe was responsible for the assassination of a senior Hamas leader in Tehran, in the Iranian capital, on the eve of the inauguration of Iran's new president. Now, Iran has vowed to retaliate that strike, but we understand that the Iranian leadership has said that it wants to watch these talks in Cairo before it carries out any response to Israel. But it has promised to do so. We only have to cast our mind back to April of this year, when Iran fired hundreds of drones and missiles at Israel, and its first direct strike on Israel ever. This, of course, following Israel's bombing of a Iranian diplomatic building inside of Syria. Whatever the case, the fear is that as this war in Gaza continues on with no end in sight, that Iran will feel compelled to do something. Lindsay.
Let's talk about the situation in Gaza. The death toll continues to rise. What's happening there?
Yeah, it's pretty devastating. Our team on the ground in Gaza has told us that over the past weekend, over 200 people have been killed in a series of strikes across Gaza. We also understand that there have been mass evacuations in several areas of Gaza, including from one of the few hospitals that remain operational. The situation there, as we know, remains dire. And of course, we are now understanding that the Rather, the risk or the threat of the spread of disease is only growing, with a 10-month-old boy diagnosed with polio, now paralyzed from his left leg downwards. The fear is that many more vulnerable children, if they are not vaccinated, could suffer the same fate. Lindsay.
Imtiaz Tyab, thank you.